Are we live?
We are live.
All right. Hello, everyone.
Hi, guys.
Happy Monday. Hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. And yeah, thanks for joining us today. This is a favorite.
Oh, yeah.
These are always a favorite because it's when we get to, excuse me, basically, we're not necessarily launching it because it's not quite available yet. A couple days.
But for those of you watching on recording, it's probably.
Yeah, of course. But we are launching our new bone support, Osteo Complete. And I know for those of you that have been with us for a while, following us along, you know that we have been working on this for a very long time.
Yes.
And it's, so appreciate your patience.
An absolute ton of research went into this.
Sure. It's a very important supplement.
It's a tough supplement. It's a really tough one to formulate. For sure, that was a lot of the delay. And then once you think you know what you want, then you try to source. You're like, okay, nobody can source exactly. But so it took some time.
Yeah.
Finally got what we wanted, though.
Labor of love.
Yeah, no doubt.
So let's talk about, actually, first of all, if you don't subscribe to our channel, make sure you do that. So first, real quick, go subscribe, like, comment, questions. We love it all. Helps us, help you. Team approach.
Totally.
But before we go into this amazing product, let's talk about bones.
Yeah, bones.
And think about like a lot of times we think about strong bones, just about aging, right? We need to prevent these strong bones as we age, but it's not just about really, I mean, yes, that happens, but it's not just about avoiding fractures as we age. Our bones are our foundation of like lifelong vitality, our freedom, right? Because we move because of our healthy bones. You know, it's our body's support system. Yeah, I mean, 100%. So when you think about it, like if we're not protecting our bones, like we're leaving our health at risk. And I know again, I just brought up aging, but I want you to think about this too. It's not just for the seniors or those that have been diagnosed with osteoporosis, osteopenia.
It's definitely for them.
100%, but it's not just for them because peak bone mass is built in our 20s and 30s, right? We don't realize that. You kind of think it happens later on, but peak bone mass, 20s and 30s. So after the age of 30, our bone density begins to decline.
Totally.
Right? Scary. And I know we've talked about this like with muscle mass, but like, gosh, after 30, you're so young and vibrant, you don't ever think of these things, right? So you have to consider that at age 30, things start to decline. So you have to support them so you don't get into that osteoporosis, osteopenia, or risk, fracturing something. So as much as this supplement is for if you have those conditions, there's a preventative nature to it too. So I want you to think about that and really why, again, it's not just for the seniors or those with, osteoporosis and the like.
Absolutely. And a lot of that, go ahead, you're going to say, go on.
I mean, I was just going to say, bones are more than, they're more than just the skeleton. They're more than just structural, right? They store minerals. They help regulate hormones. Mm-hmm. They even influence metabolism and immunity. So sure. I don't think most people think of it beyond the structural component of bones, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, the bones are a major reservoir. When the body needs it, when the blood needs it, other areas of the body need it, it will resorb bone and break down bone to free up some of these important vitamins and minerals.
Right.
Yeah, but go back to the age thing, like 10 to 18 years of age is a major bone growth stage, right? Major. So these kids that are just eating awful foods, they're not hitting their full genetic potential, right? Like genetics, I think, play a role, like they're basically up to like 80%. But really, lifestyle, nutrition is what would get you to max out, basically to take full advantage of what your genetics are offering you as far as bone building, right? So 10 to 18 is a very, I'm not saying that's who we made the supplement for, but I am telling you that if you have any children in that age bracket, absolutely focus on nutrition with them and the importance of getting calcium and healthy bone minerals.
For sure. Okay, let's talk about some problems that lead us down to this weak bone situation. So first, some stats. 1 in 2 women and 1 in 4 men over 50 will suffer an osteoporosis-related fracture.
Okay, so age and gender.
Right. So obviously females,
right.
Yes. And that typically has to do with postmenopausal hormones. They really affect our bones, especially that estrogen.
For sure.
Also, what affects it, though, is you were leading to this sometimes with kids, but nutrient deficiencies, inflammation, poor diet, stress. Stress accelerates bone loss, right? So again, this is a whole lifestyle approach here. with being able to prevent this negative stuff from happening. And there's the standard calcium supplements on the market. There's many, 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 and it actually can be a very confusing market.
Very
There's
confusing.
so many different forms,
Very
and you're
confusing.
told you need calcium, but like it's
And it's one of the areas where the FDA allows you to make a qualified health claim. So like, 500 milligrams or higher of calcium equivalent elemental, you'll get, improves bone density, increases bone density.
right.
And
I
so,
didn't know that. So.
a lot of companies just throw really a lot of junk up against the wall. I mean, a lot.
Right. So, and a lot of times these standard calcium supplements fail to ignore the multiple pathways associated or involved in bone health.
Absolutely.
Again, talking about the hormones, the minerals, the inflammation,
That's right.
even collagen production.
And the cofactors too. Collagen's a big one.
Right.
The vitamin D, the magnesium, the K2, which are not in here. So we're going to talk a lot about that on purpose, why we did that.
Yes. Yeah. So, I mean, do you want to get into it?
Yeah, I need notes. I had so many notes. I was going back to
All right.
all my notes that I was making too, but I'm
Well-
glad you covered the stats because I think that's important. But what you understand is that a fall risk is so critical for our elderly population. If you have frailty or fragile bones and you fracture a bone, and you're an elderly, and your probabilities, your survival rate goes way down. I hate to say it. The prognosis is really poor.
Yeah.
It's very poor. It's not good.
Right. And you see it all the time in your loved ones,
Yes.
guys. And
Yes,
and
you
maybe
do.
it ends up being because they're less mobile. So, the things that go along with decreased mobility. I mean, now mind you, my mother-in-law is doing amazing, but she did fracture her
Yeah, she fractured her
femur.
hip. Yeah.
And she can't do
And
the activity that she used to. And it's
What's crazy is she had severe. So we're gonna talk to her one day, but she had severe osteoporosis
To bring her
based on
on.
her DEXA scan. Yeah, the DEXA is really the gold standard, the easiest way. But it's an X-ray basically. You get a scan, tells you your score. She was severely osteoporotic. We changed a ton of her lifestyle habits after my father passed away because he was actually the influence on her that caused her to have that lifestyle. But she now had come around full circle, no longer osteoporotic, but she's been using all the ingredients that are in this product now for months, and it is unbelievable. She's not even osteoporotic anymore. She's mobile, she's agile, and it's a lot of fun to watch her. Now, obviously, the bone fracture was a setback,
right. I mean,
but
she was loving to play pickleball like
Right,
that. She has
but-
to swipe that off the table now.
but the prognosis has improved because of all the focus on nutrition and low exercise and
Yeah.
of course supplementation.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so let's talk about the ingredients. And I have it broken down here, if you want to do it differently, though, into 3 kind of different categories, like your structural support, your metabolic and hormone support, and your antioxidant mineral support, because there's a lot of ingredients in here. So I feel like they need to kind of be broken down into little
Yeah,
subcategories.
and unfortunately for y'all at home or watching, if you're live today, you can't see the supplement facts panel because we don't have it on the website yet. So I was going to run down just the way is listed on there, but if you're watching on recording, pull up the supplement facts panel on the website and we go down together. So however you want to do it's fine.
All right, well, let's talk about the categories, you guys, so we're not flip-flopping back and forth because, the ones in the categories have similar benefits. But
Yeah.
let's just first, main player here, let's talk about our calcium.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're in the structural support, the building block area right now. So what form of calcium
Yeah.
did you work so hard to get? This was a major player in the delay, should I
Yes,
say, because it was hard to.
100%. I made a couple of notes here on the pearls of calcium because there's a key structural component of bone. We all kind of know that, assume that. Bone holds like 99% of our calcium. Not a lot of it's in our blood or our serum. So when you hear me talk about serum, I'm just talking about blood. But it does create a complex with phosphate. So when we start talking about hydroxyapatite, I want to try to give you a better visualization of what that is. Calcium in general is absorbed in the small intestine. And it's regulated greatly by vitamin D. There's a passive diffusion and there's an active diffusion in the small intestine. So vitamin D aids that. So
Okay.
you really do need vitamin D to drive your calcium utilization. So that's important. We talk
Right.
about that a lot. Calcium's not just bone, right? It's involved in muscle nerve function too. It's involved in a lot of different functions. And inadequate intake, like I talked about earlier, briefly mentioned, if you don't get enough calcium, it will break down your bone. Like if your serum levels are low, it'll say, "Oh crap, I need
Right.
the calcium for other things." Break down the bone.
That's your little
Resorb-
osteoclast.
the osteoclast will
They
take
chew
away,
bone.
right? They'll chew the bone, right? Whereas the osteoblasts build the bone, but they will resorb the bone and they will free up the calcium. And that's unfortunate because dietarily, we're not getting the recommended amounts of calcium on our daily basis. We're just not. I mean, we fortify our foods, but again, it kind of falls into that junk food category, cereals, low grade dairy products, things like that. So you gotta be really careful. There is calcium in foods, though. I mean, you can get it from dairy and some different food sources.
Right.
But then also be careful, and I'll mention this again later, but also be careful about the anti-nutrients in some of the foods because like the oxalates and the phytates can chelate and bind and prevent the absorption of calcium. There are a lot of different forms of calcium on the market. Predominantly, it's carbonate. Carbonate's not bad. It has a pretty high percentage of elemental calcium. The citrate is another one that's on the market, depending on your stomach acid, basically, like how are people being treated for stomach acid issues. But what is even better is the Albion. So that is a branded company that has a patented calcium form, which we chose here. It's a dicalcium, so it's two calcium. And it is a malate salt. So it's dicalcium malate, has far better bioavailability, better absorption, and well tolerated, has less gas production, so it won't interact so much in the stomach. It does need an acidic pH, like as most calciums do, where citrate might be the exception, but the dicalcium malate, by far the best form of calcium on the market. Now, we went with 500 milligrams. Most dietary guidelines are 8,000 milligrams of calcium a day. And that's typically between like 18 and 50 years of age, or 70 if you're a man. But over 50 years of age in a woman, over 70 in a man, you're typically going up to like 1,200 milligrams a day. Again, we would love for you to get it all from dietary sources. It's just not happening. It is actually a pretty well established. It's pretty well established that we're just not getting enough calcium. So when it comes to supplementation, you got to be careful and make sure you choose the right supplement. And that this so far is awesome. So, and then you have the calcium contributor of hydroxyapatite. So let me just tell you briefly, I'm going to read just a couple of quick notes I made on hydroxyapatite, just because it's a little bit hard, I think, for people to kind of understand it. It's mostly, most of your bone is hydroxyapatite. 65 to 70% of your bone mass is hydroxyapatite.
And that's why it's also like in toothpaste and all that. We were just
it is, yeah, absolutely, it is. It's more readily utilized by the body. It's a more natural form. So hopefully that would help with it too as well. But the hydroxyapatite is like a matrix, and that's when we start talking about the collagen. You'll see how that matrix comes together, because the calcium looks for phosphate and creates this bone matrix, and hydroxyapatite is basically that. So it's a great source of calcium. It's not easy to source. The way we got it was absolutely the best form of hydroxyapatite for a bone supplement. So we're very happy about that. And so that's calcium.
Okay, and you just mentioned quickly, so we'll just go straight there, the eggshell membrane collagen powder.
Yeah, eggshell membrane. Unique amino acid sequence. That's the biggest contributor of collagens. Collagens are made of the building blocks of protein. I mean, it is the most predominant structural protein in bone, right? Mm-hmm. Collagen. Eggshell, again, has a decent sequence of amino acids closely related to the bone. So it's a very healthy, it's a good source of amino acids for bone.
Specific to bone. Okay. Because I know, a lot of times people look at
it's
collagen as kind of just like a universal thing. It's just collagen, but again, so many different types and reasons for them, right? So
it's also high in chondroitin and hyaluronic acid. I left that part out. Forgot that. So it supports osteoblast, which is the building, improves calcium uptake, and then has
is this the collagen or
the collagen?
Okay.
And it has high in chondroitin and hyaluronic acid.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. Some of these I may be butchering how to say them, but the strontium.
Strontium, yeah, strontium is cool. Maybe probably most people. Did you hear strontium before we had this?
I guess me?
Yeah.
No.
It has a very high affinity for bone. It's structurally and physically very similar to calcium, and it's very prevalent in bone structure. So strontium it's a naturally occurring mineral. So that's really important for bone. Awesome.
Glucosamine.
We've heard about that for joint support.
Sure.
Everybody, like I just mentioned, the hyaluronic acid and the chondroitin. Definitely good for joint health because it's concentrated there. But glucosamine sulfate promotes the osteoblast. Remember, the osteoblast, the building activity and the bone remineralization. Because that's what it's all about. It's rebuilding of bone, restructuring bone. Bone breaks down, bone builds back. That's a normal process all the time.
Right. Okay. Awesome. Bamboo extract.
Bamboo's cool, high in silica, good for bone structure. Definitely one of those things that most people aren't aware of that can be very, very essential for bone health and also improves collagen production.
Right, I was going to say I had on the essential for the collagen, cross-linking, and bone flexibility. So
Yeah, yeah,
cool stuff. Okay, so those are our major structural support ingredients.
yeah,
And then there's also metabolic and hormone support that you want to call them like the regulators, right?
yes,
Your B vitamins, your methylated B vitamins in
absolutely.
there. We
Why are
know
they in there though? For the
healthy bone
homocysteine mostly.
metabolism
Yeah, yeah,
and prevention of homocysteine buildup,
yeah. Predominantly, I think for homocysteine, managing homocysteine
which is a risk factor for fractures.
Oh yeah.
So if you have high homocysteine, which is typical on blood work to
Yep.
get it checked, but it's a buildup. It has a high risk for fractures. And another
Betaine, we
thing
have
that
betaine in there also does that. Betaine does this, it helps manage homocysteine.
yes, that's on that's in.
Yeah.
Yep. So we have the methylated B vitamins, the betaine, like you just said, supports methylation, indirectly aiding bone health. The genistein, am I saying that right?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So it has hormone balancing effects. It also helps with IGF-1. So you were just talking about hormone levels.
Yeah.
The correlation between changing hormone levels lines up perfectly with your late 30s. But
Right.
it can help balance your estrogen and therefore promote bone remineralization because as you know, if your estrogen level declines significantly, you're more subject to.
Sure. And that's what happens too, like perimenopause and menopause. That's why you have like the dramatic change in your bone health is because of basically your drop,
Yeah, yeah,
lack
drop.
thereof
Growth
estrogen.
hormone, IGF-1. So the genistein can also help with IGF-1 levels, insulin-like growth factors. So it has a lot to do with your anabolic properties and your growth factors.
Awesome. Okay. And then I go on to antioxidant mineral support, which we can think about the protectors. So we have the building blocks, the regulators, the protectors. Rose hip powder.
Rose hips are high in vitamin C. So when we talked about launching our collagen before, collagen absolutely production needs vitamin C. It has to have it. So you want some vitamin C source, whether it's whatever it's from. But in this
Somewhere
case, rose hips is
in your
very
diet.
powerful. It's good for vitamin C source, but it also is a potent antioxidant.
Right.
So it
For
helps with the oxidative stress, helps with the
inflammation.
inflammatory
Yeah.
pathways. Yeah, of course.
Boron.
Boron. I mean, I think most people know boron's popular
Sure.
in bone support.
Yes.
Enhances calcium and magnesium absorption. So when we start talking about why we, the calcium, magnesium, the D3, the K2, boron is in there to help increase that absorption.
Awesome. And then glycine, which I do feel like a lot of people have heard of glycine.
Yeah, I mean, amino acid, right? I mean, we definitely have the key building block of collagen. Glycine is for sure. Which is the primary structural bone and protein in bone. So glycine's there to help support the collagen support.
Right. So guys, a lot of stuff in here. Again,
Is that everything?
yes,
Is that everything?
not just a calcium supplement, right? This is complete bone support. This is Osteo Complete, like advanced bone support. Again, super crucial. But let's talk about who should take this supplement. We kind of alluded to a lot of it, but like we already said, everyone, right? Not just for osteoporosis or those diagnosed with bone issues, but really, if you want to think of it as prevention for those over 25 as bone density starts to decline in our 30s, extremely important for females as we're more inclined to it, especially with perimenopause and menopause. Even athletes, the high joint stress, right? Support that.
Sure.
And then again, anyone with just that chronic inflammation, nutrient deficiencies, family history of osteoporosis.
No,
You
sure.
need to think about this stuff. And I like this little bold point here. Like we don't wait until our teeth start falling out to start brushing them.
No,
Right? Oh shoot, I'm losing teeth. Now we got to take care of them, right? You shouldn't wait till your bones are breaking
No.
till you start taking care of
Yeah.
them. So like don't wait until you get that bone density scan and you're like, "Oh man, I have osteoporosis. What do I need to do?" So don't get there. Not everybody, you don't have to get there.
So
Right?
which means you all need to get a DEXA scan. If you're over the age of 50 and you're female, over the age of 70, you absolutely should have a DEXA scan. You should have it earlier. I don't know why most people do not have them. Most people get a fracture have not had a diagnosis of osteoporosis or even a DEXA scan to know where they're at.
Right. And then
Most have
they
not.
get diagnosed
And
then.
then they get told.
Yeah.
Trust me, you want to know this information because it's a reversible goal. You can say, okay, at this Z score, I want to get it to here, and I want to improve my bone density.
Yeah.
You can do it. I got proof. My mom's proof of it. It's unbelievable.
Not a bad idea if you're listening to this right now live, or even those listening to the recording before you get a scan, see where you're at, see how you need to improve.
Yeah. Yeah.
then take,
Yeah.
right?
Now it is an X-ray, so there is some radiation, but not much. Not much. And the benefits far outweigh the risk. I mean,
Right.
seriously.
And again, it's important to know. It's important to know, but regardless, like I'm so excited about this because, I need to start taking it.
Mm-hmm.
I need
Yeah.
to start protecting myself as I'm
Sure.
entering those next phases, but also I have a lot of stress on my joints for sure through exercise and yeah.
Hey guys, keep in mind too. Man, I might have jumped the gun here. I'm talking about how to get the most out of the supplement. It is 4 capsules per serving. I mean, the stuff that I just read off, it's a lot. I know it's a lot. You can split it in 2 and 2. Probably should take it with food. You can try it on an empty stomach. If it doesn't upset your stomach or cause gas production, then fine, great for you. But if it does, take it with food. Careful with the foods you take it along with, but still. And it's 4 capsules. I know it's a lot, but again, elemental calcium, it's like 30%. So you have to get 500 milligrams. You really got to have 1,500 milligrams, basically, just of that. So that's what we needed to do. That's the only way we could get this high quality supplement made. I always get a little bit like worried about people that have to take that many capsules and stuff because there is some fatigue
Sure.
associated with it. But trust me,
But
guys.
again, it's just
Trust
swallowing capsules.
Yes,
You
exactly.
can do it. It's worth
You
it.
can do it. You can do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think honestly, personally, for me, I'm probably going to try to take all 4 at once after lunch because I take the bulk of my other supplements that I need to take with food after breakfast. So that allows me to now separate the supplements. So just an example, if that works, hopefully that'll work for me.
Yeah, and we'll report back on that.
And then also, because I feel like we just talked all about it. And when we launch, guys, the price will be on the website. Can you talk about now why we don't have the vitamin D and the magnesium?
Yeah, of course,
Because I
of course.
know it's going to be a pressing
guys.
question. Just as we get the question of, how come we don't have calcium in our multivitamin?
Yeah, 100%, absolutely. You don't want calcium in a multi. Trust me, you do not. You don't. And you really, if it's in there, I guess you want to make sure it's the right form. You want to be able to assure that you can hit the right dosing. But again, timing matters. You guys want to have control over when you take these vitamins and minerals. If you're truly trying to improve your numbers
Sure.
and hit goals, you need to be able to have control over it. You can't just have this all in one with a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And sometimes these things will chelate and bind together and even compete for absorption. So it's not good that way. D3 was an easy no-brainer to carve it out and make it separate. It should be dosed at a certain time of day, typically first meal of the day. It should be with K2. And remember, it does improve the utilization of calcium. So if you're on a calcium product, you absolutely need to be taking a vitamin D product. But D3 also, you want to control the dosing. The 2,000 units of vitamin D3 should yield a blood level of 30 to 50 nanograms per ml, whatever. The K2 in there, a certain amount of K2, and then you can titrate up and down based on your blood work. And if you're not getting your blood work, maybe you just find a happy somewhere on the vitamin D dose. But D, in my opinion, really should never be part of a multivitamin. Magnesium should never be part of a multivitamin because it also can chelate and can bind to other minerals and compete for absorption. So it's a difficulty. And I also love the timing of magnesium. I think you should be able to take a magnesium capsule if you're in a high stress work environment, high stress environment. Then you should be able to take your magnesium right before bed if you want to help it improve sleep and have a better bowel function in the morning. I mean, you want to control these things and the amount of magnesium. Right. You need to have a certain amount of magnesium.
And you can't get it all in.
You can't get it all in. Again, magnesium, you're talking about elemental. It's about the same. It's about 30% elemental. So you have to have like 12 to 1,300 milligrams. That's why you'll see 2 big capsules for our magnesium to hit the 420 milligrams of elemental. So let's imagine that. Let's imagine 4 capsules here, 2 capsules magnesium, 2 capsules are smaller on the vitamin D3, and then all jammed into a multi along with all the other stuff. It just it doesn't work. And clinically, it's honestly not prudent. I think it's dangerous, reckless, and
right.
And at best, it doesn't do anything. Doesn't do any harm.
Sure.
Potentially, it could mess you up.
I feel like so many people flock to that theory, all in one, or look at all this. All I have to do is take these 2 pills, and I'm good for the day. Like it doesn't work that way, and you're probably wasting your time. Well, you're wasting your time, your money. And the benefits are not there. You're not getting it.
Maybe at best you're wasting your money. At worst, you're causing yourself some harm.
Sure.
Really great questions and comments coming in. I love it.
Have we answered?
No, well, yes, of course, some. So let me cruise down through the field. So You want to keep talking
Yeah,
about
sure.
what
And again, I know we don't have the pricing to tell you yet because we haven't fully launched, but
Yeah.
you guys know our pricing and you know it's going to be a phenomenal price, right? We want you guys to get on this, trust me.
So, hey, Ivan, question is what types of food are not good to eat with bone support products? So I did reference phytates and oxalates. They're basically like the anti-nutrients that are in like some
A lot of vegetables.
vegetables. Vegetables have these plant compounds that are defense mechanisms. And so you'll find that sometimes that in like lentils, beans, some of your leafy greens, some of your leafy greens definitely have the phytates and oxalates. So that would be my word of caution. So I know they're typically healthy foods, but just be careful to recognize that some of those foods can minimize the absorption of calcium. And this is not just unique to like our product. This is across the board an issue. And that's one of the things with supplementing with calcium that's been an issue for all these years. You know, that people advise you to supplement with calcium, but it's very hard to hit your 500 milligram, 1,000 milligram per day goals.
Right.
With a lot of these variables.
Sure.
So unknown. But yeah, I mean, if you're not exactly sure, just kind of Google, hey, foods high in phytates and oxalates, and you'll see what I'm talking about. And then still, those are good foods to eat, but just not with your calcium supplement. I know this guy, hey Dan, he's done. He says, don't you get calcium from other supplements? I don't like taking so many pills. Man, I'm telling you, that's what I just said.
Right.
I get it, but the answer is probably no. You don't just get them from other supplements. You get them from a calcium supplement if it had dedicated. If you see calcium in a multivitamin, I guarantee it's going to be a sprinkle, and it's going to probably be some cheap, inferior form that you would be better off not even taking.
Always remember, guys, the dose and the form are so important for each of these ingredients that you are putting into your body. So important. So dig into it, right? You got to ask these questions so you can learn on really what you're supposed to be doing.
Canada doctors will not do any testing as preventative. I'm surprised there's not a self-pay pathway where you can go in and do it. Maybe that's not the thing. I'm sorry to hear that. DEXA scan from Ron, never heard of it. We'll do mine. Yeah, do it. Ask for it. I'm telling you. And I think they're rather inexpensive. I mean, insurance is absolutely should cover them.
Yeah, but again, don't wait until you have that possible fracture. Gosh, I hope not, but don't wait until that fracture comes for then to tell you you have osteoporosis or you have osteopenia, right? Know before what's going on. Know your numbers. I always preach that. Know your numbers. Know before what's going on so you can help tackle it.
Yeah. So David asked if this can be taken along with amino acid in collagen. Yeah, absolutely. The collagen is a major component to bone and structural support. So absolutely. I put some eggshell membrane collagen in this, just to get some of those unique amino acids in there. We also have type 1 and type 3 in our our
essential amino.
No, in our
just kidding, collagen peptides.
Collagen peptides. But it would be great. Absolutely, you should be taking both. I do. Absolutely. All right. Can you get too much calcium? Yes. Hey, Melanie. Yes, you can. Yeah, you can get too much calcium. Too much calcium can be dangerous. Can show up with kidney stones. Can do some weird things. It can precipitate out. Cause nausea, upset stomach, can do some things like that. So
how about this question? If somebody is, because I feel like I'm going to get the question, so I might as well put it out there.
Right.
If somebody's prone to kidney stones, should they still take calcium, or is
it
that
depends on their needs? But why do they have kidney stones for other reasons too?
Right.
Good
point.
You really should be talking
root cause of kidney stones.
root cause to figure out what's going on there. But taking a calcium supplement like this will not. I'm not going to say will not definitively because it depends on, but should not cause kidney stones. That's not normal to do that. So definitely keep that in mind. Most people are not getting enough.
Right. And most people aren't eating dairy anymore. You know, it's not because dairy is bad. I mean, I like a whole, organic farm dairy, but it's how sometimes my stomach doesn't like it. I know many people can't digest dairy very well. So,
Jan's, what is Jan's comment? I might have just missed it. Oh, Jen, so this would be good post fracture. Yeah. I fractured my distal fibula, and absolutely, you need to be taking calcium after bone injuries. Be ideal if you had it on board before, just because part of silk helps absorb water. Yes, yep, silk is also good for that. Stay hydrated, folks, when you're taking these supplements, of course. I think that really.
Yeah, awesome stuff.
Guys, great questions, great comments. I appreciate it.
Excited for you guys to try
with food. With food, it's going to be my preferred route. But if you can split it if you want to go on an empty stomach and tolerate it well, great. It is forecasted. You can take 2 twice a day if you can remember. It's discipline. You got to remember to do that. But yeah.
Another question for myself.
Yeah.
As we're talking about the hydroxyapatite and the calcium, obviously that helps bone. Our teeth are bone. Do you think that supplementing this will help teeth as well?
Well, they say that the teeth, the hydroxyapatite for the teeth is so beneficial because it's typically done as a nanosized particle and gets
Right.
right into the valleys of the teeth of
So like toothpaste,
the enamel, right?
not necessarily.
Correct, in toothpaste.
Gotcha. Okay.
In toothpaste. But you do need calcium to build bone, right? So
100%. Awesome, guys. I mean, think about this. By protecting your bones, you're protecting your independence,
oh, that's interesting.
your motility.
I love Pia's thing. So I've heard of people
Mobility.
who fall down and break a bone. It's actually a broken bone that causes the fall. So we must keep our bones strong as we age. You would be surprised at these weak, fragile bones. It's fragility.
And sometimes they don't even know
It's
the bone is
fragility.
broken.
It's
It's so
fragility.
weak.
And
What happened? Did you just close it?
sorry, guys.
Are we
Did I
there?
I'm just trying. No, we're live. All right,
Okay.
cool. Oh boy, I almost closed out on everybody. So that completes our initial product launch of
Yeah.
Osteo Complete.
Very exciting. So, I mean, again, your independence, your mobility, your quality of life, this is protecting your bone. Like it's so, so, so important. Our Osteo Complete Advanced Bone Formula, nothing like it on the market. Try to prove us wrong.
So David says, I'm 65. I fell backward down the stairs to a concrete floor and fractured my
gosh.
spine. This hasn't been fun. I've had to have surgery using Factor 4 and I'm ready for this new product. David, I completely understand your situation. That is traumatic, but you can, with right plan, get yourself back up
Right.
into full speed again. This is the thing though, trip hazards. If you're walking around the house and you have stairs, or if you have a lot of rugs, or if you have little small pet, you've got to be extra careful about trip hazards. When your bones are fragile, and
Yeah.
so
Designed to keep you strong, resilient,
right.
and thriving every stage of your life, guys. Check it out this week.
I know we're so excited. And all right, guys. Well, look, plan on seeing it the next day or two. And hopefully, if you're watching this recording, it should be live. But for you guys watching live, just stay with us next day or two, and we'll have this ready to rock for you.
Awesome.
Thank you for tuning in.
Bye, guys. Have a great day.
See y'all. Bye now.